days. This is a 2022 Indian Chieftain Dark Horse. It's a cool color. And I'm out here with a friend. He's on the Challenger, which is pretty cool. So we're just going to be riding around, giving my impressions of the bike. So my frame of reference, I ride Indian Bobber 20, and also I have a Springfield Dark Horse that I ride. So I'm used to both, you know, liquid cooled and the air cooled motors. This has got the same motor as my Springfield, except for I've had some work done on the Springfield, and this is pretty much stock. I've got apes, so I'm trying to get used to these bars. They're a little low for me, but they're actually comfortable. A couple things that are cool about this bike is over here you got the windshield, which for all the Harley guys that are saying this is just a Street Glide clone, Street Glides can't do this with the windshield, which is pretty cool. And actually, it's not a gimmick. You would think it was a gimmick, but you can definitely feel a difference in the wind, the buffeting, or lack thereof, actually, when you put that the windshield up. Put it back down, get a little bit more wind in your face. So this bike's a 116 Thunderstroke motor, and it's got cruise control, audio with touchscreen, big buttons up here so you can use it with gloves, plenty of power, hard bags, all sorts of accessories. You know, granted, Indian's accessory range is nothing like Harley's, but they're coming into their own, and there's a lot of great aftermarket in other companies too. So don't always just look at Indian and say, hey, you know, they don't make A, B, or C or whatever. Look outside and see they got a bunch of good fabricators, some that I'm working with that can make some really cool stuff. So a couple things I might change on this bike, just because it's the way I'm used to riding, is I might have some taller bars put on this if I were to get it. I just kind of like that, the feel of having the hands more in the air, I guess, than this. It feels great though. It's really responsive, very nimble. Reminds me a lot of a Springfield with the fairing on it, which is pretty much what it is. One of the bad things about riding on demo days is that you can't really get on it too much because you're in a group with a bunch of people. But I'll try to get some pulls here in a second. I think we're probably going to be taking a turn shortly. I'll edit out all the boring stuff, and I'll put some specs on the video right about here of what this bike has as I'm riding it, and then put some specs to the bike stock as well. So the fairing actually knocks quite a bit of wind off you. I'm used to riding apes on my Springfield with no windshield or anything, and it's I like the feel, but it's definitely, this is a lot calmer on the upper body. 6-speed gearbox. You got gear indicator up here telling you what gear you're in. Oh, come on, people. And we're stopping at a roundabout. we're in northern Indiana today. It's kind of overcast. It was raining a little bit ago, just sprinkling, so it's not like the roads are wet or anything. But starting to look, well, not really so much look, but starting to feel a little bit like fall's coming. It's got plenty of power, very comfortable. These have the Fox Air monoshock on the back of them, so you can adjust your shock really easily with an included little hand pump. So if you're riding solo, you can have it at certain PSI. You're going to ride with a passenger, you know, calculate the weight, reset the shock, you're good to go. So I got to get on it a little bit. That felt good. Like I said, it pulls really hard. This motor's got a lot of power and a lot of room to improve. So, two things I would look for in a bike anyway. You don't want to top out when you're buying it. You want to be able to play with it a little bit and modify. At least that's the way I look at it. So the fairing on this one is fixed to the forks, whereas the Challenger, my buddy's riding behind me, has got the fixed fairing on the frame. So it's going to be a little bit different feel depending on what you're looking for. I think people have said that they could feel the wind a little bit at high speeds in the steering on these more than the Challenger, but I can't attest to that myself because it doesn't feel that bad at all right now. So last year when I was doing these rides, I was coming off of my bobber, which I still have, and test rode a number of bikes, and one of the things I was looking at was the Springfield, looking at that really seriously, and wasn't sure if I was ready for a bagger or not, you know, because it's just it's a different feel, you would think. But for those that don't know, I did take the plunge, bought a Springfield Dark Horse for myself for my birthday. Have been doing some content on the channel with that, swapping out bars, done some modifications, more things to come. So have both bikes and love both of them actually, and this is not too far off of my Springfield. I don't know if I ever went for something different, if I go for a Springfield or go for the Challenger over here my buddy's riding, or some other brand, but this is definitely a great option, and this color's fantastic. I'm a little partial to red. probably hear the difference in the wind now with that windshield down. So they have aftermarket windshields also for these, where you can get ones that are flared out a little bit, which are nice, and I think they are pretty easy to swap out. So that might be an upgrade I'd go for, along with the bars and obvious engine upgrades. Alright, so we're getting ready to pull back into the dealership. Any questions, let me know. I'll try to put, like I said, I'll put specs for this bike in this video. Hit me up in the comments with any questions you have on this bike, or actually any of them. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what kind of bike you have. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.